Signs he's losing interest. In this video, I'm gonna tell you how to spot the signs that someone is losing interest in you. It's Sabrina, your personal love advisor from A New Mode, the channel where we show you how love actually works. You know the feeling. It's that palpable shift that you can't quite put your finger on, and it just hangs in the air, sending panic through your being. Sometimes you think you're just being paranoid. You think maybe your fears and your insecurities are running amok. And sometimes it goes back to being business as usual. And just as you're breathing a sigh of relief, knowing that things with this guy are back on track, the rug gets pulled out from under you and jabs you between the ribs, and you just feel distraught. And you're confused. Everything was going so well. He was so interested in the beginning. What happened? Did you do something? Did you say something? What's going on? Why is he acting like this? The reason it's so confusing is because interest doesn't turn on and off like a light switch. It's more like a dimmer. It slowly fades to black. A man might go through several weeks or months trying to sort through how he feels about you. And he's not gonna come right out and tell you, I don't know how I feel about you. I think I might be losing interest in you. He's not gonna say it because who's gonna say something like that? But his behavior is gonna tell you everything. And I'm gonna tell you exactly what to look out for. I'm gonna tell you the behaviors that indicate a guy is losing interest in you, and I'm gonna tell you what to do about it. So make sure you watch this video all the way until the end. Real quick, if you like this video and find it helpful, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell so you're notified whenever I post new videos. For more relationship content, sign up for the A New Mode newsletter. It is where Eric is the co-founder of A New Mode. He and I share our best tips, our best advice, our best personal stories. We deliver it straight to your inbox every day. You can sign up at anewmode.com/subscribe and follow me on Instagram at A New Mode. Okay, let's get into it. Number 1, he's full of excuses. While at first he was all about you, now he can't see you because he's so slammed with work. He's really tired. He has to go to the gym. He thinks he might be coming down with a cold. There's always an excuse. Whereas in the beginning, it didn't matter what he had going on in his life. He would climb out from a pile of work. It didn't matter if he only got 2 hours of sleep the night before. It didn't matter if he had the flu. He was coming to see you. But these days, he's coming up with any excuse he can to avoid hanging out with you. Whenever someone gives you an excuse for why they can't do something, what they're really telling you is they don't want to do that thing. Number 2, he doesn't ask you questions anymore. When we like someone, we can't get enough. We're curious, we're interested. We want to know about their day. We want to know how they're feeling. We want to know how they're doing. We just want to know what's going on with them. When someone's losing interest in you, he'll stop showing an interest in you. In addition to not asking you questions, you may notice that he just kind of seems bored when you're talking to him. He kind of tunes you out. He might forget the things that you tell him. If you've watched my other videos on how to know if a guy likes you, one of the main ways to know is that he remembers the details. He remembers the things you tell him. If this guy is just like spacing out, he's forgetting everything, he's not paying attention, he's not interested, he's most likely losing interest in you. Number 3, he seems indifferent. When a guy likes you, he lights up around you. He's excited. He's so elated to be in your presence. He can't help but smile. I mean, you can tell when a guy is super into a girl. When he's losing interest in you, he's just not gonna have that same spark anymore. He's not gonna have that same excitement to be around you and to be with you. Now look, as time goes on in a relationship, he's not always gonna be so awed by your existence, but there will still be some level of happiness and ease to be around you. If you notice that's not the case anymore, it's not such a good sign. This actually just reminds me when I mean, women do the same thing. Like we know when our excitement level for a guy is like just going down and down and down. I remember when I was single and dating, I would know that I was losing interest for a guy, like when I was doing my makeup before the date, when I would just be doing my makeup and I would just be like, I don't want to waste my makeup on this guy. Like this is $30 mascara. I don't want to waste it on this guy. Whereas like when it's a guy that you really like, you're so excited to get ready, you'll use that whole tube of mascara if it'll make you look pretty so you can make the best impression on him. So we feel that, shift in our excitement level when we're just not so into someone anymore. Number 4, he's not responsive. He doesn't text you back or he gives you cold one-word answers. He may previously been, all about you and responding right away and super engaged, but now he's just not. He barely responds and he's just not there. Now, I want to caution you here. You cannot assess how a man feels based on his texting behavior alone. So if he's just not texting you that much, it's probably because he doesn't like texting. And most guys don't like texting. They do it in the beginning to win you over because they have to. But as time goes on, he won't do that as much. So if a guy is just not that great over text, but he's awesome in person, you guys have a great time together, he's excited by you, he's engaged, he's interested, fine, whatever about the texting habits, let it go. But if he's a bad texter, and he's not so into you, acting indifferent, showing some of the other signs on this list, then that's a sign that, he's just losing interest or not that into you anymore. The responsiveness isn't just about his texting habits. You might just also have a sense like whenever you talk to him, it's like pulling teeth. Like you can't get any information out of this guy. He's just totally withholding himself from you, not telling you like what's going on with him, what his deal is. You just feel like it's a struggle. There's no more sense of ease and effortlessness being around him. Instead, it's just this tenseness and this, is that a word, tenseness? Okay, it just feels tense. It just feels awkward, uncomfortable. The vibe has totally shifted. Number 5, he picks fights. This is a common thing a guy will do when he's losing interest or when he's gearing up to break up with you. He might be doing it because he is actually hoping that you break up with him. So he thinks if he annoys you enough and drives you crazy enough, then you'll just end it and then he won't have to be the one who has that uncomfortable breakup conversation that no one ever wants to have. He might get extra defensive with you. He might pick fights. He might just pick at you. He might just all of a sudden be annoyed by everything you do. Maybe habits that he used to find cute and charming, he now is disgusted by or he's super annoyed by them. You just can't do anything right. When he does these things, he's intentionally trying to push you away. It might seem childish, but it is kind of coming from a good place. It's coming from a place of him not wanting to be the guy that hurts you and breaks your heart. So he's kind of in his own way trying to convince you that you guys aren't a good match, hoping that you break up with him and then that's it. It'll be a nice clean break for everyone involved. Number 6, no initiative. He'll reply when you reach out. He might be kind of nice, whatever, but there's just no initiative on his part. He's not planning the dates in advance anymore. He's not really putting any effort into the dates anymore. He's not reaching out to you first. He's not calling you. He's not texting you. He's not checking in anymore. He's just being very passive in the relationship. This is just his way of pulling out of the relationship. So if you stop reaching out to him, you probably just won't hear from him anymore. This is known as the fade away, and it's often the precursor to ghosting. And I actually have a video on why guys ghost, so check that out as well. If that's something that has happened to you or is happening to you, you sense that this guy is doing the fade away on you, you want to know what's going on. But basically, if a guy's putting no effort into the relationship, it either means that he's just become way too complacent. Maybe you're doing a little too much of the work. And if that's the case, then you should just pull back a little bit and see what he does. But what's more likely the culprit here is that he is just losing interest. Number 7, the relationship stagnates. At first, the momentum was building. Things were off to a great start. Things really seemed to be heading in a meaningful direction. And then it just stops. Or even worse, you're going backwards. If you've been seeing each other for a while, but he won't put a label on it, he won't introduce you to his friends and family, he won't deepen the relationship in any sort of significant way, it means he's probably realized that you don't have long-term potential, or he doesn't see you as a woman that he could really have a long-term relationship with for whatever many number of reasons that are not personal and don't mean anything about you. He's just decided that he doesn't want a long-term relationship, but he still enjoys you. And so that's why he's trying to keep you guys stuck in this like casual relationship situationship land. But if a relationship stagnates like this, it really just is a sign a guy's losing interest or he just isn't interested enough to take things in a meaningful direction. Number 8, he doesn't want to get physical. If a guy is losing interest in you, he'll probably lose interest in being physical with you. Now, there are ways to seduce a man and bring the spark back into your relationship, but if he's losing interest in you, then sex is not going to be enough to reel him back in. One other thing I want to mention here though is if he is only interested in sex and he's not interested in anything else anymore, like he doesn't take you out, he's not really interested in learning about you or connecting with you, that's also a sign he's losing interest in you. It just means he's losing interest in you as a person. He's just still interested in having sex with you. So either way, no sex or only sex, both bad signs. Number 9, he's being shady. Now, I hate this word, but I'm going for it here because it just like makes the most sense. He's acting shady with you. He's being weird. He's not being his normal self. Now, it is normal for guys to sometimes pull away and withdraw. Usually this happens if something's going on in his life, if he's stressed, if he is emotionally off balance, something's going on. But if there is nothing going on, he's just acting weird with you, that is a really bad sign. That is a really big red flag that something is up, that he's losing interest, that he's just not into you anymore. Number 10, his interest seems to be shifting onto someone else. You might notice that he talks about his coworker all the time and how great she is and how amazing she is, or maybe he's been texting a lot with one of his female friends. Maybe he met some new girl. Some other girl is in the picture and he might tell you, oh, it's platonic. Oh, there's nothing going on with her. But like you kind of know there's something going on with her because he's way more interested in her than he is in you. He's asking her the questions. He's paying attention to her. His face lights up when he's around her. And those are all the things that he used to do with you, but no longer is doing with you. Number 11, you feel it in your gut. Here's the thing. You're here because deep down, you know something isn't right. You know this guy doesn't like you as much as you like him. You sense that he's pulling away, that he's losing interest. You sense that things aren't as they should be at this stage in the relationship. Now you're here because you're hoping that you're just being paranoid. You're hoping I'm gonna say something that's gonna make you realize, oh, I was wrong and he really is in love with me and everything's fine. Don't silence that inner voice, because she usually knows what's up. She usually knows the truth. She's usually onto something. Okay, so those are the signs that a guy's losing interest in you. Now, what can you do about it? Here's the thing. If a guy isn't interested in you, all it means is that he's not the right guy for you, because you will never have to convince the right guy for you that you are the right woman for him. You just won't. He'll know. He'll know it. You won't need to make like a whole PowerPoint presentation about why we'd be an amazing couple. He'll be aware. If you have to work so hard to win someone over, then they are not the right person for you. Period. End of story. Not everyone is a match, and that's it. It's not personal, you're not flawed, you're not unworthy, you're not unlovable. That's just the nature of the game, the nature of the beast. Now, I do want to add, it's possible that he's losing interest because of the way you're behaving. Maybe you're acting a little too needy, a little too desperate, a little too clingy. Maybe you're being too naggy or too negative. All of these things might cause a guy to start losing interest in you, especially if this is a new relationship. He doesn't really know you well. So if you are behaving in any of those ways, then fix it. Fix it now. You don't even need to say anything to him about it. Or if you want to, I guess you can, but I mean, the best thing you can do is change your behavior. Identify why it is you're acting so needy and so clingy and so desperate and whatever it is. Get to the heart of it and fix it. Stop being that way. And if you do, and if that's really the reason why he was, seemed to be losing interest, pulling away, then everything will go back to normal and you'll be fine. And I'm hoping that that's the case for you and that you can fix this and your relationship will be back on track. But if it doesn't go back on track, just means that he's just not interested enough. Another thing that I want to mention here is men move towards what feels good. If it feels good to be around you, he'll want to be around you. So watch your vibe, watch where you're coming from. Are you bringing negativity and anger and annoyance and frustration into your relationship? Is that how you feel overall? Or are you bringing happiness and fun and positivity into the relationship? I'm not saying be Miss Sunshine all the time. That's not possible. Bad days happen, bad things happen to us, bad moods happen, and that's fine, and that's okay. And you should be able to talk about that with your partner, and he should support you in that, and that's okay. I'm not saying never be in a bad mood, but watch the place you're coming from overall, in general, the majority of the time. Is it nice to be around you? Are you someone who is pleasant to be around? Or are you bringing a very negative, draining type of energy? Because what men want in a woman more than anything else is a woman who is easy to be around. So ask yourself, am I easy to be around, or am I kind of impossible? Am I kind of like ruining this guy's life? Am I being really, really difficult? And be honest with yourself. Take a look at yourself and address what's really going on. And if you do that and you are bringing your best to the relationship and he still continues to pull away and is showing signs of losing interest, then just let him go. There's nothing you can do. It just means he's not the right guy for you. What did you think of this list? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Please leave your thoughts, your comments, your questions, your stories in the comment section. I love hearing from you guys. I love when you share your stories, when everyone supports each other. It really creates this awesome sense of community, and I love it. For more on this topic, check out the full article. The link is in the description box, and sign up for the A New Mode newsletter, anewmode.com/subscribe. Link is also in the description box. Follow me on Instagram @newmode, and I will see you guys in the next video.